It's with great pleasure that I introduce Ellen Barnett, Dr. Ellen Barnett, as our speaker today. Ellen has been a practicing family physician, thank you, I'm going to learn this someday, in Santa Rosa. And she works with patients of all ages, but in my experience, she has been incredible with elders. And she is going to talk to you about a process that she has designed, and I don't know what to say about it. It's experiential, and I'm just going to let her take it from here. So welcome, Ellen Barnett, please.
I don't think I need this. Well, it's a delight to be here and see some familiar...
Everybody needs a microphone.
Hold on, she's got one. Hold on. Just speak a little louder.
Okay, how about this?
Go ahead, Ellen.
Does this work? Is that all right? Okay, I'll project from the breath. So I feel particularly prepared for this, having just spent 5 days with my 92-year-old mother-in-law. So I'm right there with you. We're going to do, for the next half an hour, we're going to do a process called Imagine You as You Want to Be. And I am with the Integrative Medical Clinic Foundation, which is a nonprofit arm of where I work at the Integrative Medical Clinic. And one of the projects of the Integrative Medical Clinic Foundation is this Imagine You project. It's an activity, a workshop, and we've done it around Sonoma County for about 18 months. And we've done it with all ages, from junior high kids to cancer recovery groups. And I'm gonna do it with you today. Now, it usually takes a little longer than a half an hour, so I'm going to ask you to focus as we go through this. So we start with the premise that health gives you the ability to be what you want to be. And for the elderly, it's really a matter of readiness, I think. Ready for whatever they're ready for what they want to have their life be like in this stage. And so during this activity, we're going to quickly go through 4 steps. I'm going to ask you to wonder for a minute for yourself. This is going to be, you're going to do this for your own life, not for somebody else. But you're going to wonder why you want to be healthy in the first place. I'm going to assume for this group that you are pretty healthy people. So we want to look at what you want for yourselves. Then we're going to imagine for a little bit what that actually looks like when you're healthy. And then if we have time, we're going to look at then we're going to create your own image of health. And we probably won't have time to do step 4 to look at how you're going to make that part of your life, but we usually do that. So here is an example. I put in the slide some examples of the images that people have made over the last year in this workshop. So we don't expect great art, and we don't expect anything other than symbolism in the pieces of paper that Cynthia Kalmanson is handing out. So remember that health is really not just your physical health. It's your physical health, your emotional health, spiritual health. It's your whole being of how you want to go through life. So think of health broadly. So remember, health gives us the capacity to be what we want to be and do what we want to do. So the first, I'd like you to, this is the laser focus moment. I want you to just clear your minds for a minute. And I want you to just wonder in your own self, why do you want to be healthy? Not what your doctor tells you. I see patients all day long and I say you should lower your blood pressure. And finally I said, well, Mrs. Jones, why would you want to lower your blood pressure? What's it going to get you? So why would you want to be healthy in the first place? What is so important to you that health matters to you?
It's not fun being sick.
It's not fun being sick, so what is fun? Thank you for that word. What is fun for you? What is meaningful to you that you need your health to do? Be happy, okay?
Give our gifts to the world.
Give our gifts to the world. Great. Okay, now in a laser moment, I want you to go one step further. You've all seen cartoons with the thought bubble in the cartoon. I want you to imagine a thought bubble over your head. And I want you to put yourself, your very self, into that picture of you doing what it is that's important to you to have fun, be happy. What is it that gives you that pleasure? Is it some activity? Is it being with certain people? I invite you to really make it very concrete in your mind's eye, in that imagined bubble. So now I invite you to make it clearer. Who's in that picture? Who's with you? What are you doing? Where are you? Do you hear something? Do you smell something? Are you in a certain place in the world? What is your personal image of what health is to you? Okay, now comes the fun part. First of all, I want you to, as you see yourself in that picture, pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention to your body. What feelings do you experience at this moment when you're thinking of yourself as healthy as you can be, doing what you want to do because you're healthy? How are you feeling? Because that feeling in your body is where the energy comes for what we call motivation. Motivation is nothing more than you wanting to do something. It's not a should list. It's not all the things you should be doing. That's not motivation. Motivation comes from your feeling within your body of what's important to you. And you've just created in your mind's eye something that's important enough to you to be healthy for. I'll share my own experience. When I was doing this, I had kids about 10 or 12 years old. I started late. And I wanted to be old enough, healthy enough when I was old and they had grandchildren. I wanted to be healthy enough to be able to roll around on the floor, and as a friend said, get up, with my grandchildren. So that was what kept me on the treadmill, because I hate exercise. I am not the kind that feels wonderful and terrific after exercise. All I feel is virtuous. So I needed something to keep me on that treadmill, and it was the idea that someday my kids might have grandchildren, and I wanted to be able to play with them like my grandmother played with me. So that's my image of health. It's on my cell phone. So what is it for you that gives you that yes kind of feeling? Now before we go to the pieces of paper, I'd like you to practice for a minute. How many of you have heard the term neuroplasticity? Great. I figured a lot of you would. So your brain can change at any age. And at this moment, I'm going to ask you to start a process of your brain changing. So the brain will change with practice, habit, doing something over and over. So pretty soon your brain doesn't have to think, you reach and open the doorknob. You don't have to think now, reach out my hand to open the doorknob. You just have that mental, habitual place in your brain. So right now I want you to start a new place in your brain. And that is, feel that feeling and pull up that picture of your image of health. So feel why you want to be healthy and pop up that picture like a screenshot. Now drop it. Think about what you had for breakfast. Think about an elephant in the corner. Think about whatever you want. Now pull up that picture again and feel that feeling. That habit of feeling, the feeling of why you want to be healthy and having an image of it is now beginning to be a new behavior that you will use as you move through life. You just give yourself a pat on the back. Good job, good job. Reinforcement. Reinforcement for a new habit is how new habits go. And get neuroplastic. Thank you. Neuroplasticize in your brain. Okay, now the fun part. All of you have in front of you a little thought bubble card. Looks like this on your table. Each of you pick up one of the thought bubble cards and a colored pencil. And I invite you to put in this thought bubble a symbolic representation of your image of health in your mind's eye. You might put it as stick figures. This one, find the right thing. This was a young man at a homeless shelter where we worked, and his image of health was being with his family. This was another homeless patient, or client. I get confused on the words. And not surprisingly, her image was a house. So for her, being healthy was being in a way that she could have a house. So symbolically, in words or pictures or colors or symbols, put something on that piece of paper that to you pulls up that feeling of why you want to be healthy and represents that image of health. Okay, we're going to give you some time to do that, and we're going to move around the tables and talk to you. Cynthia and Marcy, can you help? And everybody right now should have a pencil in their hand and a card that they're working on.
I didn't even look at that. This is my great-grandfather's home in Alexandria, and I'm living in it. And it is everything self-sustaining. He has his own practices. This is all
Heart. Yes.
Okay, fine. Yes.
What did you call Go around pain-free.
I encourage all of you to share the pencils so you get more colors than if you want. I have to say, for all the groups I've done this with, you guys are the most artistic.
Especially you.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't have to be just one. Oh, I forgot my glass of wine. Travel.
It's Park City and airplanes. It's cities and communities communities and environment, and these are ones that still need to be prepared. So like Syria right now.
Oh, this is for the
I'm
world.
such a great artist. I just said at least I know what I'm doing.
It's your image, nobody else has to get it.
I actually.
So a lot of times, people people felt comfortable putting words in their bubbles to represent that feeling that they would get about why they want to be healthy. It doesn't have to be a picture. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be a dot. I mean, whatever it is that pulls from you that feeling of yes. So words, symbols. Let me see if I have some more. Oh, that's mine. A heart. This was a young, I think she was 12 or 14 years old. And she was just having a beating heart as her symbol. This was a cute kid that somehow wanted to put the baseball and physical and emotional health together. So he combined a picture and words. I saw a lot of you with hiking outdoor pictures. This is hiking and biking. Again, this is in the homeless shelter where we worked with a father and his son doing it together. This was an amazing story. A young woman, middle-aged woman, made this tree. And when I asked her about it, she said, she was in the homeless shelter, and she said, each branch of the tree is someone who has helped me.
Oh, neat.
The most amazing story was a not the most amazing, but a story, a young boy who, when asked what his image of health was, he said math. M-A-T-H, math. And I thought to myself, there is not a doctor in the world who would, when asked, give me a word for health, would say math. They might say lose weight, get your blood pressure under control, control your diabetes, all the things that we're just ingrained with, but they wouldn't say math. So I said, tell me about that. And he said, well, I'm good at math, and that's the only thing I'm good at. So I feel good when I'm doing math, and I have to be healthy. He's talking. I have to get to sleep. I have to eat breakfast to be able to do math. From the mouths of babes. So, how many of you have a piece of paper with something on it that pulls at your feeling level for health? Raise your hand. Excellent. Good group. Okay, we have time to move on. Now this is the challenge part. So let's use that image of health as the concept of a goal. Okay? Now we can think about this with our elderly clients. They might be having an idea of being ready for something, or being comfortable enough, or something a little less than vibrant health. But still, in their mind, there's some reason why they're still here, why they're still living. They want to see their kids. They want to get to, the granddaughter's wedding in 2 years, something. And so now we look at, okay, what's going to get you there? What action can you take that will help get you or keep you to that goal? And here we come back to the issue of habit formation. Because most of the time, we're talking about starting a new habit. We only make new habits in one way. The science, the research on this is very clear. We only make new habits with tiny steps. We don't jump across the Grand Canyon, unless we're Evel Knievel. We only walk down the path and walk back up again. So right now, and this is where you're going to work together in your tables, I want you to think of one thing that you can do within the next 24 hours that will move you toward that goal. One small step that you know you can accomplish in the next 24 hours. So if someone says, start walking 20 minutes a day, each day, I'm going to say no. What can you do in the next 24 hours that will move you toward walking 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week for the rest of your life? Like maybe, do you have a pair of tennis shoes? Or do you know where they are? Or could you drag them out of the box and put them by the back door? And this is the time also I review the 5 phases of starting a habit. And this is sort of a culling of a lot of the research. We think about a new habit, we plan it, we do it, we stop it, we take a break, we're on the wagon, we do whatever we want to label it, and we start again. So we think, we plan, we do, we stop, and we restart. So thinking, just like you did it a minute ago, where you thought about your image of health and you pulled it up and down a few times, that was the beginning of your picture, of your accomplishment to get to your picture. So the thinking of it is a powerful first step. Or planning. You know, I always say to patients, I don't want you to go to the gym tomorrow. I want you to drive to the gym and not go in. So the car knows how to get there. So that's the first step. So what can you do in the next 24 hours that will move you toward your goal? So you have 2 or 3 minutes. Each of you come up with one thing and share it with somebody in your table, and the other person's responsibility is to make it smaller. Okay? Down to the smallest, I always feel the smallest step is one thought in one breath. That's a small step. Thinking about what you want to do for one breath. So talk among yourselves, be tough on the other guy, make the small step smaller.
Mine was, I like to watch the sun and have my brain
Step on the boundaries.
I'll do that.
Get my shoes out.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I love the noise. The noise is great.
I don't know if that'll do. Yeah, it will. Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, I'd like everybody to reach your arm up. Pat yourself on the back one more time. You just, by the level of noise in the room, I know that you have at least thought about or talked about your pictures and your small steps. How many have something that they're sure they can do in the next 24 hours? Terrific. So I invite you to put it on your card, write it on your card to sort of commit yourself to that action. And be sure that it's small enough. Thinking about it, planning when you're going to do it, that's a small step also. Somebody here, I don't remember which table I was at, mentioned that for every 20 minutes we're sitting, and we've been sitting for 20 minutes, standing up, getting the blood going, using your thigh muscles, standing up, I've learned from Cynthia, without using your arms, is going to give you one small step for muscle strength, heart health, everything. Let's everybody stand up. Stretch up to the sky. Excellent. Move around a little. Do a couple of march in place. All right. Okay, let's stand. You're obviously, you can continue this, you can think of other small steps. We all also add in the support element, getting support for your goal, asking a friend to call you and see if you've done your small steps, getting in a group, getting the group support from each other here. The vision for this entire project was that just like in the 60s when we asked each other what our sign was, and somehow that started a conversation, now we can ask, what's your image of health and how can I help you reach it? So that begins a conversation of support. And as a physician, this was quite humbling when we did this with a bunch of teenagers, and they had all these ways they were going to get support. They were going to have a friend go to Annandale with them, and they were going to call their father and help him do stuff. And I said, well, what about taking your picture to your doctor's appointment? And they would just blank. Blank. It never occurred to them that their physician or their healthcare professional might be able to help them reach their health goal. Pretty sad. So take it to your doctor. Throw it to your doctor and say, help me get to this. Why is my pill that I'm taking going to help me get to this? So that the goal is yours and not mine. You are terrific. You are terrific. We do this as our part of our nonprofit foundation with groups all over the county. We'd be, for the elderly, they really need a reason. They are told, I was with my mother-in-law, 20 people in 5 days told her all the time all the things she should be doing. And if you pull up something from your should list right now, everybody has a should list, and check how you feel about it. And then compare that feeling to how you felt with your own picture of health, your own image of health. A little different usually. So what is their reason for wanting to stand up 5 times a day instead of sitting? What's their reason for wanting to walk around friend's house one more time to build their strength? I don't know. And I'm never surprised, it never ceases to surprise me what will come up from, if I ask, from their vision. So we do trainings to be Imagine You workshop leaders. We do trainings to how to use this tool with individuals, because we found that the devil's in the details. And there's places where we've gotten kind of off the track in using this tool without really knowing what we were doing. So I invite you to, if you're interested, go to our website, IMC Found, or Imagine You, we'll pull it up on the web if you'd be interested in the training. And most importantly, hold that image, take a picture of it with your cell phone, make it your screensaver, whatever you want to do, but use it. Use it, put it on your bulletin board, put it on your refrigerator. Use it to remind yourself of that feeling, because that's where your power is. It's that feeling of why you want to be healthy in the first place. So thank you very much. We have flyers here, and go for it one small step at a time. Thank you very much.